There you go. So we'll just wait for a few more seconds and then we will start off. I will take you through the topics today, but before we start off, so anybody who is new to this session, there is a option to raise your hand in your toolbar, in your Zoom toolbar. If you can please raise your hand and keep it raised so I know I can put it down myself. Just keep your hands raised. Do not put it down, please. This is how we will engage within the session. As you know, this is a webinar. Only I get to speak and you get to say through your raising your hand. All right. So half of the people have raised their hands, half have not. It's all right. We'll practice it more. Get there. Thank you very much. Hope your weather is good. Let's start off. Today, we're going to talk about PowerPoint slides. And if you've noticed, I haven't said PowerPoint presentation, I have said PowerPoint slides, and there is a point I'm going to make today. So a few people who are also joining in from the session of our essential skills called presentation, creating impactful presentations. So welcome to you as well. And today we're going to talk about a few things that you could relate with. So let's start off. If somebody cannot hear or see it, they'll have to adjust their screens or their sound settings because everybody else can. Thank you. So today we're going to talk. So when I thought about PowerPoint and a PowerPoint training, all of these things came to my mind. There are lots of them, and we can't do it in 30 minutes. If we do it in 30 minutes, you will leave this session with absolutely nothing. So what we are going to do is we are going to divide it up into 3 sections. We're going to do the first one today, the second one in July, the FYT Club in July. The first Wednesday of every month is FYT Club. So July 7th, we will do the remaining 10. And then the last 5, which will require a lot more time, we will do it on August 4th. Okay, so we're going to break it up into 3, just like Club Excel. We're going to break PowerPoint into 3 parts and see if we want to go further with any one part. And if not, we can continue with this. So today we are going to talk about these 10 things and we are short on time. So let's get started with shapes. But before we do that, first things first, before we go into those 10 things, ladies and gentlemen, if you feel that PowerPoint is your presentation, then you are wrong. PowerPoint is not the presentation. And the people who attended Essential Skills will tell you that you are the presentation. Please remember, PowerPoint is not a presentation. You are the presentation. You present, you use PowerPoint to present just like any one of these tools. You can use a flip chart to present. You can use a whiteboard to present. You can use a sample to give out to the audience or show it to them and present. And you can present using PowerPoint slide. But remember, please do not use PowerPoint as an analogous word, a synonym to presentation. It's a presentation tool, not a presentation. Okay, let's move forward. And then let's talk about your brain. Again, essential skills people, you would remember this, but I need to make this point for the new ones who did not attend it. So let's talk about your brain. If I was to talk about your brain, 3 people, psychologists, pickpockets, and magicians have all termed your human brain as Frank. Every one of us has Frank with the uniqueness also behaves. Now, what I'm doing right now is I have put up a slide with a lot of words and with my script, basically, I'm reading out to you. Now, imagine if I was to use this and I was to present this whole slide into this. This is Frank. Frank is being termed Frank by psychologists, magicians, and pickpockets. And what they're saying is that this is Frank sitting inside your head. And if you ask Frank something, Frank has to turn around, open up that filing cabinet, and search up stuff and then bring it back to you. Now, while Frank is doing that, for example, let's say I ask Frank, hey, Frank, I ask you, so what did you have for breakfast 2 days ago? So what did your brain do? It turned around and it came back with an answer. And this was the answer. Maybe it came up with an answer, maybe it didn't. You don't remember, right? But here's the point. When Frank was turned around, I could have done anything to you. I could have swapped your watch. I could have said something you would have missed out, and Frank would not have concentrated on it. And this is how magicians work. This is how pickpockets work. And this is how psychologists work. So if Frank understands things in sequence. Frank understands things in story, in step by step and scale. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I have just shown you are 4 slides. I have just shown you 4 slides. These are 4 different slides, and all of them explain this one slide. Now, by raise of hands, would you have preferred the way I showed it to you? Or would you have preferred this slide, one slide, right? So the question here is, would you prefer my way? Raise your hands, please, if you prefer my way of showing you things. I hope most of you do, because if you are feeling you would want to present it the way I'm showing you right now, well, there is going to be a problem. You're going to not have so much of attention grabbing while you are presenting. Okay, so let's go forward. I'll go forward quickly. And this was just to show you how you can present a simple slide, break it up into pieces and show them visually, because who is the presenter? Who is the presentation? You are the presentation. Microsoft PowerPoint is just a tool for you to help you present and make things more exciting. Now I'll show you some common slides. You see this slide? Have you seen this slide? Please raise your hand if you have seen this slide in your career, in your presentation room, in the meeting room. If you have, raise your hand, right? Okay, I will lower your hands. Get ready to raise your hands again. Have you seen a slide like this or a similar slide? This is actually a NASA space shuttle slide. I'm not kidding. This is a timeline for their project management. Okay, I will lower your hands again. Have you seen this slide? You know, somebody explaining you a process and putting some words and then putting in some process flows within it. If you have, right? Have you seen a slide like this? I hope you haven't, but let's put a question. Oh, some people have. There are quite a few people who have seen a slide like this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember Frank, if Frank sees slides like this is how Frank reacts. You get it? Yeah, Frank doesn't like it. Frank likes things in shorter, smaller, scalable pieces, in something interesting, something not bland, something not scripted. You know why not scripted? Because if you have a slide like this, guess what? People read faster than you speak. That means if I'm presenting this slide, I am useless, absolutely useless. No need for me. I can just put up the slide and go home. So how much does an extra slide cost? It costs $0. You need to break it up into several different slides because it's free. And if you have an assumption that the number of slides is equal to the presentation time, well, it's not. I can actually present 100 slides in 1 minute, or I can present 1 slide in 100 minutes. So is everybody in agreement with me that number of slides does not equal to presentation time? If you are in agreement with me, please raise your hand. And I know you will face a few issues, especially if you're dealing with, you know, maybe somebody on the top management that, hey, let's restrict our slides to 2 slides because I don't want you to spend 10 minutes on it, more than 10 minutes on it. Well, the answer should be, hey, I'll spend 10 minutes on it. Don't worry about it. I just want to make my point. That's it. Okay. And you can quote Fight Club, you can quote essential skills. Okay. Give an example. But please, please, please do not restrict yourself to presenting in 2 slides, which you can present in 20 slides, because you're going to eventually take 10 minutes. Up until now, all the slides that I've shown you, it's just been 9 minutes, and I've probably shown you more than 16 slides. Okay. All right. So let's go forward. Let's get started. We are going to talk about shapes and then alignment and then so on and so forth. Let's talk about shapes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to bring in a PowerPoint in front of me right here. Can you all see my screen, please? Raise your hand. Thank you. Perfect. Let's get started. So what do I mean by shapes? You see on the top side here, these are shapes. Now I'm a big fan of these. They help me put everything into perspective. If I start a new slide and you see all of these placeholders, well, I don't like them. So what do? I just drag and select and delete them. Now I bring in these shapes. Let's say I have to make a point. I will make a point on a shape. Okay. So I say step one, I'm giving you a process. Okay. Let's say step one. Okay. Let's say I'm making an omelet, find an egg. Okay. Now what do I want to do is I want to, okay, here's the shortcut. You want to duplicate this one, press control, keep it pressed and drag it up, duplicate it, easy. Or you can control C, control V, another way. So what I do is if I have 5 steps, I usually make these 5 boxes by control V or controlling, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. So I create these 5 boxes, then I fill them out. Okay, find neck, break it, um, I don't know, shake it, mix it, and then fry it. I'm just making things up, okay? And then eat it. Simple as. So now I have these 5 things, but you know, I'm going to mix up the second point as well, the alignment part. I'm going to show that to you later to make it look better, nicer, cleaner. You can do it with your mouse moving around. You see these lines. When you move around, these lines come in and you can sort of adjust them. You don't have to. So first off, I don't like the length of it. So I'm going to select all of them instead of selecting one by one. And I'm going to reduce the size together. So, you know, they look nicer, fit the text easy. If this was longer text, I would have increased it. I will bring it in the center of the screen, center of the page. Now, once I've done that, I can tell a story. I can do it like this and go back into shapes, go into, and I can use an arrow. And I can say this happens after this, and then I can do another one. So let's say I can bring another arrow and turn this arrow around. Here you go. So I'm telling a nice story here in sequence. So your Frank is not getting upset. Here you go. I'm going to add this here. Then I'm going to bring in this again and turn this around. So now I am telling you a story in steps, and I will not put all of these things at the same time. I'm going to use animation. So I'm going to show this one first. I'm going to show this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. We'll talk about animation later. But first off, are you okay with the shapes and the boxes? You can play around with a lot of different shapes, but these are the best shapes that I play around with, the 2 most used ones. So please raise your hand if you're okay with shapes so we can go forward. Thank you very much. So try using shapes. Shapes make a very important point, right? So now what I'm going to do is quickly, I'm just going to show you a little bit of animation and how to do it faster. So I will select everything and I'll go into animation on the top. And the best corporate animation is 2 animations. Please remember, do not use anything else. Do not use these random kiddish animations. You only use them when you were 12 years old and you were playing with your computer for the first time, okay, with Windows 2.3. So do not use any one of them. The 2 ones that you're going to use are fade and fly in, okay? Fade and fly in, that's it. Please don't ever use anything else. So let's say I'm going to put, let me start from the top. I'll go select all of them, go into animation, and I'll say fade. Now all of them have faded. Now see this number 1, what it means is this is animation number 1. So it'll show me as all together. Now to put them in order, I will have to go into the animation pane. I'll go here. See this? All of these things are number 1. So on number 1 click, everything will appear. Now I'll select all of them. How do I select it? I press shift and down, or I can go one by one, or I can press control anyway. Press the first one, shift and down. I will right click and on click. I have options: on click, start with previous, start after previous. I want all of them to appear when I click on them. So how does it look like? Here you go. Goes find an egg, break it, shake it, fry it, eat it, and the arrows come in later. Don't worry about it. We can fix it. So we go into back. You see these arrows? Now all we need to do is select this arrow. It is already highlighted as this arrow. I will bring this up on the top. I will select this arrow, this one, and I will bring it up after this rectangle. Similarly, after this and after this. Now let's see the magic. I find an egg, arrow, break it, arrow, shake it, arrow, fry it, arrow, eat it. All right. So now you are telling a story. Frank is happy. You're taking them through a journey. They are not distracted. They are not reading ahead of it. They are not reading ahead of you. they're with you. Everybody is going with you. Everybody okay with that? Please raise your hand and let me know so we can move forward. Beautiful. Thank you very much. All right. Now I'm very passionate about this kind of stuff, PowerPoint presentations, Excel. I'm very, very passionate about it. So, there is a chance that I could go overboard and try to spend more time on it, but we are short on time. So let's go forward. Next thing that we're going to do is alignment. Let's take the same example. Let's say this was not, we are not putting in arrows. Okay. Let's say I wanted to put in order like this, okay. Now I want to just select all of them, bring them here. Now I know that I want to put it in order, and I can spend a lot of time dragging my mouse in making them look nice and equidistant between them, but I'm not going to do that. Why? Because I have an option in Excel, in PowerPoint. So I drag all of them. See, if you go into home and you're going to arrange here, you're going to align, and you go into distribute vertically. Now they are equidistant between them, but they are not aligned on the left side or right side. They are hazard. So I'm going to do this again. Arrange, align to the left. Done. Voila. Look at this. Looks beautiful. So now, also remember, Frank loves sort of arrangements, equidistance, all of those things. Frank easily digests stuff as opposed to something which looks like, let me bring my mouse, something which looks like this, something which looks like this. So Frank does not really digest all of this kind of information. So Frank loves this particular way. If you look at it, looks professional. And what did I do? I just did two things: align equidistant vertically and align. So for example, I'll give you another example. Yeah. So let's say I'm giving, these are some 10 steps. I'm not going to write anything because that's just going to waste time. So let's say these are 10 steps. So let me just, okay. So these are 10 steps. Okay. See how quickly I made them. So these are 10 steps. What I'm going to do is I'm going to present it horizontally. So I'm going to place the first one here. I'm going to place the last one here, and that's all I need to do. Then I'm going to select all of them. See, there is a trick to do that also. You can zoom out, use this, zoom out. So now you have enough space to play around. You can select all of them, go into arrange, go into align, and distribute horizontally. Done. Go into arrange, go into align, and align to the bottom. Done. Easy. 10 points. How cool is that? Do you like it? Are you going to use it? Tell me by raising hands, please. Awesome. Thank you very much. We are going to go forward. I'm going to lower your hands. Now, one of the most important things that you're going to use, and that is going to solve your time and effort, is, see, you can do the boxes, but then there is another option, which is called Smart Art. Okay. So for example, have you seen a slide like this? So I'll use the same example. So I have buy it. What was it? I forgot. So it was find an egg, break it, shake it. Let's do it. Break it, shake it, fry it, and eat it. Now I have this. It's great. I've created this slide. Okay. Now it's PowerPoint 2021 has given you some serious, very, very easy options. You see here, convert to Smart Art. So I'll select this. I'll select make sure you select the box as not a dotted line, but a full line. Otherwise it's not selected. This is not selected. Okay. Just make sure it's a full line. You've selected this. I'll say convert to Smart Art. Now this is the beauty of Smart Art. I'm going to go into more Smart Art graphics, and here you go. You have a whole plethora of stuff that you can design it, and you don't need to do anything at all. Just click. Okay. So you can do a list. These are all the lists. You can select this one and press OK. There you go. It's done. Equidistant, looks nice. You can then play around with it. You can select the whole thing. You can reduce the font size. together. You can change the font color by using this one. Okay, you can do whatever you want. Now, let's say if I'm not happy with this and I want to use another smart art, I want to click on this. You see immediately there's a smart art which comes on top. It's not here. Now it's there. I click on this. I can change colors. I can change the design. See this? It just changes automatically. I don't need to do anything. I can have more design concepts. Whichever one suits your purpose. There you go. You can keep changing it, and there you go. Now, just a little bit of an overview. Anytime you see this, it means you can upload a picture here. So I can click on it. You can put up a picture here from your computer or from online, whatever. So anytime you see this icon, you can place a picture. So a small picture will come here. Okay. So now let me show you how to edit this. Let me just put it in a format. Now, if I want to add to it, all I want to do is, you see this arrow on the left, just click on it and just add anything here, subtract anything here, whatever you want. And the last step is burp. Okay, so you see it already automatically added it here without you having to control, align, do whatever you want. It's just one button, everything sorted. If let's say I don't want to buy it, I want to remove this, just remove it, easy. Okay, so similarly, you can play around with smart art, and you can play around with a lot of them. For example, let me just go and show it to you. You can go into smart art and you can do a process flow. You can do a whole process. Let's say I want to convert this into a process. How do I do it? I click here, I go into smart art and I go here, more layouts, here, more layouts, and it'll take me straight here. I will go into process and I can change into process. See how we put arrows before? We don't have to put arrows here. And if you want to change it, reduce the text size, you can reduce it by going in here. So now looks great. Now let me show you how to animate this, because if you're going to show it, it's going to show everything together. The magic is gone, right? How do you edit? How do you animate smart art? Very, very easy. You click on the smart art, you go into animations, you go into fade. Now everything is together. It's all one, which means everything is on one single animation, which we don't want. You open up animation pane, same animation. You will double click on this. You will go into smart art animation and you will say one by one. Okay. There you go. So now you can present it, break it, shake it, fry it, eat it, burp. Okay. So what did I do? I will repeat. Don't worry about it. I know. Okay. So you have this, select it anywhere, just click anywhere, go into animation, go into fade. You have the fade, you will then open up the pane, animation pane. This is where everything, all the magic happens. You will open up the animation pane, same thing opens up on the left side. It'll only have one option. You will double click on it. You will go into smart art animation and you will select one by one. Okay, done, easy. Now you can also do reverse. Remember, there's this reverse order option. So if you want to go from burping to breaking it, you can go into reverse, easy. Yeah, so if you like it, if you're going to use it, please raise your hand so we can go forward. Thank you very much. Let's move forward. So ladies and gentlemen, you can use a lot of options within smart art. You can use, let's go back, smart art options. You can use a hierarchy for process, for if you're explaining a new person what your structure is, you can use this. It's very, very easy. Just input, you can select it, input it, and then it'll give you an option. Let me just do it from the top. Okay, new slide. If I want to put up a hierarchy, I go insert, smart art, I go into hierarchy. See all the beautiful different versions you have. Maybe I want to choose this one. I want to do it with photos. Okay. Now I can even put in photos of the people here. Okay, so this is, let's say, Michelle, and this is, let's say, Bernadette. Okay. Okay. See, the text is automatically just adding up. I can put in here me. I can put in here Cindy. I can put Julie. Now, right now, if I want to add more people, what do? I just go here. See this? I let's say I want to add somebody under Cindy. So I want to go here, press enter. Another box is created. And then I'm working here, okay? And then I will press tab on your computer. Tab. As soon as I press tab, see, it's now under Cindy. So I can say Pamela is under Cindy. See how beautiful it looks. Very simple, very clean, very sleek. I can even put photos now of people. So all I need to do is click here from a file, bring the photos, and they'll all have photos with it. Right. So if you like it, if you're going to use it, you know what to do. You know what to do. Don't be lazy. Raise your hands. Move around. Okay. Right. So it turns out that I had estimated in a wrong way. When I said I'm going to do all of these things, I don't think we're going to be able to do all of these things. Okay. Now, so here we go. Because we can customize anything and we work around you. So here, I have a question for you. Would you like to see something like a PowerPoint club, just like Club Excel, to do one thing every month? Would you like that? Let's see. Just throwing out a question, just like Club Excel. Would you like Club PowerPoint so we can pick up one thing and every month and just do half an hour on it? Would that be better for you? I just want 75% people to click on it. Let's raise your hand. If you are okay with that, I just need 5 more people. 5 more. 2 more. Okay. All right. I got it. So we'll plan around it. Let's see how we do it. And we'll plan it and we'll get back to you. But for now, let's talk about, we've done the list, we've done the process. Let's do a cycle. A cycle is what? Which repeats round and round. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's the same thing. I want to change, let's say this was a cycle. So it goes back from burping into breaking it. For example, I click it. And once I click it, it gives me a smart art option. I can go here, I can more layouts, and I can do a cycle. Change this into a cycle. There you go, done, easy. I can change the font by doing it here. Simple as. If I want to change the colors, let's talk about colors. Let's increase the size of it. If I want to talk about colors, select it. 1, you can go into change colors and use any colors that you want out of a template already provided by PowerPoint. If you want to use your own colors, then you select 1, you go into format, and you see the bucket. You can change the color by using the bucket. Now, let me here give you a little bit of highlight. Okay. Now, if I was presenting it, let's say, if I'm presenting this cycle, I'll remove everything else. Okay. If I'm presenting it, let me change it back to this. Okay. So all the colors are the same. If I am presenting this cycle one by one, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to copy this slide and I'm going to paste it 5 times. Okay. Before I go into coloring, I'm going to paste it 5 times. So I'm going to come in the first one. I'll change the color of this one, and rather I will change the color of the second one and make it gray. Now watch this. Okay. I select it. I go into this brush. This is called a format painter. I go into this brush. I double click this brush, not single click, double click. Now, if you notice my mouse, which is gone now, it'll come. Yeah. Okay. Just plays weirdly. So if here you go, I got my mouse. So I'll select this. I'll double click on the format painter. Now, if you see, my mouse has become a pointer with a brush. I will click, 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 done, easy. Go into the next slide, click, 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 easy. I'll go into the next slide, click, 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 click. See what I'm doing here? I am just creating a process flow where I can talk about just one single point on my slide. Now watch this, okay? I'll press escape to get out of it. I will watch this, okay? So I'm gonna talk about, sorry, I needed to remove the animation. Let me just remove the animation from each slide, because then it won't show what I wanted to show. There you go. Now watch this, okay? I'm going into my PowerPoint slideshow. I will talk about break it. I will only talk about it so nobody has attention on anywhere else, but everybody knows what is coming up next. I will go here. See, next slide, next slide, next slide, next slide. So amazing. What? How many slides? 5 slides. What did I do? I used Format Painter. Okay. Did you like that? Are you going to use it? Raise your hands, please. Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for such an overwhelming response. Love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have done all of these except for ideas. This is where it gets, I'll show you the magic. Okay. Now, imagine you don't want to use anything, nothing at all, but you have a thing in which you're going to do the same, break it, shake it, fry it. Okay, just bear with me. Final 5 minutes, eat it and burp. Okay, now, if let's say I put, for example, this is my data, and it is a historical trend, which I need to add a few things to it. Okay, right. As soon as my mouse starts working, technology, it doesn't work when I'm doing a webinar. Okay, so now it's back. So let's say this was in January. I break it. In March, I'm shaking it. In somewhere around May, I'm frying it. Takes a very long time. In June, I will eat it. And the burp is going to come in December. Now, if I have this, all right, now watch this. Okay. Mouse is acting up again. All right, so now if I have it, watch this. I can do this. Okay, this is amazing. All right, go into design. You see this design ideas? Click here and you will get ideas. You don't have to do anything. Get ideas. You see this? I convert it into a timeline like that. How beautiful does that look? I can change it with icons. You can change the icons later. I can do a timeline like this. I can do it like this or like this. It's just ideas. The ideas are your best friends. Okay, so let's say I have this slide and I don't want, so let's say I did not have, so once you have months, it'll start giving you timelines. If you have months and years, it'll recognize and it'll start giving you timelines. If I don't have this, and if I go into design ideas, look at that. It's giving me ideas. Break it, shake it, fry it. It's coming up with its own icon, so you can always remove these icons and replace them with something else. You can remove them, replace them with something else, but you get the drift, right? I mean, look, how convenient is that? You don't have to do anything. It's just giving you all those really nice options, right? And all ideas. You can talk. See, because I talk about breaking and frying, it gives me those coffee, and it's giving me breakfast. How cool is that, right? So yeah, this is something that use ideas. Okay, now just one note that I need to give you: when you use ideas, you can work around with this, but you cannot edit extra stuff around this. So you cannot edit the blue color, you cannot edit the orange line. I cannot remove the orange line. It just stays there. So be careful about it. Otherwise, start using it. It's going to be amazing. It's going to save you tons of time. And it's going to be something that you are constantly going to start using and be lazy, just like I am. So if you're going to use the ideas, please raise your hand and let me know. Thank you very much. Now, let's go back. I'm closing now. So I've done ideas as well. The summary is, you are the presentation. Think about frank, please. Every time, everybody's frank when you're presenting. The number of slides is not equal to time. This is something that we have covered. And as always, we have a giveaway. And the giveaway, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to give you PowerPoint shortcuts. It's a PDF that I've created for you. Very simple. You have to send me an email in the subject or in the body, wherever, just put in I am the presentation. You send it to me here, and you will get the what do you mean, the PowerPoint shortcuts, and you will be able to use them and save a lot of time. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share a poll with you, and if you can answer this poll, it'll really help us understand how we did and are we doing it on the right way. Thank you so much for attending, and I will see you next time with more PowerPoint. Maybe we convert it into PowerPoint Club. I'll have to discuss it with Renee and come back to you. Thank you very much, everyone. Suggestion, questions, write to us, and have a really wonderful week, the rest of the week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.